You said yes to something you should have declined. You bought something you didn't need. You agreed to an argument you knew wasn't worth having. You ate the whole thing. And now, the next morning, you're looking back thinking, why did I do that? Here's what almost nobody tells you. It probably wasn't a bad judgment call. It was a tired brain call. And there's a very specific reason those two things are not the same. This is called decision fatigue, and it's one of the most well-documented phenomena in cognitive neuroscience. In this video, we're going to look at why your tired brain makes worse decisions, what's happening at the neurological level when it does, and, most importantly, what you can actually do about it. Let's start with a courtroom. In 2011, researchers studied more than 1,000 parole hearings in Israeli courts. They tracked one variable: the time of day the hearing took place. Prisoners who appeared before the judges first thing in the morning were granted parole about 65% of the time. Prisoners who appeared later in the day, same crimes, similar records, were granted parole less than 20% of the time. By the end of the day, judges were defaulting to the safest option: deny and move on. Someone's freedom, literally, depended on what time their case was called. This wasn't cruelty. This was decision fatigue. And judges aren't special. This happens to all of us, every single day. Here's the neuroscience behind that graph. Your prefrontal cortex, the PFC, is the part of your brain responsible for rational thinking, impulse control, and weighing long-term consequences. Think of it as your brain's CEO. The CEO is brilliant, but the CEO has one critical flaw. It runs on a depletable resource. Every decision you make, big or small, draws from the same cognitive budget. What to wear, what to say in that email, whether to take that meeting. By the time evening arrives, the CEO is exhausted. And an exhausted CEO stops deliberating carefully. It starts reaching for the easiest answer available. And here's something even more concrete. Decision-making runs on glucose, actual blood sugar. Studies show that as blood glucose drops, so does the quality of judgment. The brain, running low on fuel, starts defaulting to the path of least resistance. Remember those Israeli judges? After every food break, their approval rates jumped back up, almost exactly to morning levels. It wasn't compassion that fluctuated. It was blood sugar. Psychologists have a name for this state: ego depletion. Think of your capacity for self-control like a muscle. Use it enough and it gets tired. And a tired muscle doesn't just perform worse, it resists being used at all. In early landmark experiments, people who had to resist eating cookies, exerting willpower, subsequently gave up on a frustrating puzzle much faster than those who hadn't. The self-control used in one task directly depleted the resource available for the next. Willpower isn't a personality trait. It's a finite daily resource. So what actually happens when the PFC runs low? Your limbic system, the brain's older, more emotional, more impulsive region, takes over. The limbic system doesn't deliberate, it reacts. It wants immediate reward, avoidance of discomfort, and the path of least resistance, right now. This is why a tired brain says yes when it should say no, agrees when it should push back, buys when it should wait. It's not weakness. The CEO just left the building, and someone else is running the company. And here's what makes this fascinating and a little unsettling. Some systems are designed around your decision fatigue. Supermarkets put candy at the checkout, the end of your shopping trip when your resistance is lowest. Streaming platforms autoplay the next episode right when your willpower to stop is depleted. Sales calls are timed for after work hours. Subscription cancellations are buried in menus. Your tired brain is predictable. They know it too. Here's the reframe. You are not weak. You are not lazy. You are not someone with poor self-control. You are a human being with a brain that has a genuine biological capacity limit for decision-making in a single day. Hitting that limit isn't failure, it's physics. Every person you admire for their discipline, they're not making more decisions on willpower. They're structuring their lives so that the hardest decisions happen when the brain is freshest. That's not character. That's strategy. So knowing this, what do? 1. Schedule your hardest decisions for the morning before the cognitive budget is spent. 2. Reduce trivial decisions wherever you can. Same breakfast, consistent routines, fewer daily choices, so you preserve capacity for the ones that matter. 3. Recognize the warning signs. If you find yourself agreeing to things quickly, feeling unusually irritable, or craving immediate reward, that's your signal. Your PFC is running on empty. Delay the decision if you can. And there's one habit worth calling out specifically. I'll decide on this tomorrow morning. This isn't procrastination. Sleep restores prefrontal cortex function. A full night of sleep essentially resets your decision-making capacity back to its baseline. Sleep on it isn't folk wisdom. It's neuroscience that your grandparents accidentally got right. Next time you look back at a decision and think, why did I do that? Ask yourself, what time was it? How many decisions had I already made that day? Was I hungry? Was I exhausted? The answer might not be about your values or your character at all. It might simply be about the state of your prefrontal cortex at that moment in time. Know the system. Work with it, not against it. If this changed how you think about your own decision-making, for a new video every week. Next up, why do we yawn when we see someone else yawn? It's not about tiredness, and the real answer reveals something surprising about how your brain processes other people. See you there.